Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to add a label on any 3D model by using UVs in Houdini, so let's dive in. So it seems I was using one of the old way to create the label on the product just by exporting UVs and put the label correctly with Photoshop. And my friend Philip recommended me to use COP instead of just exporting the UVs. It will be a bit faster and easier to deal with. So in this video, I will show you both methods. The first one is to export UVs and use Photoshop to place the label correctly. So I think this method is a bit better if you want to create a complex label for your product. If you want to use the power of Photoshop to create a complex label with shape and stuff like that. And in the second part of the video, I will show you the second way by using COPs. So don't forget to drop a little follow on Philip on Instagram and let's dive in the video. So I've created a new blank scene and the first step is to add a new geometry node. So here you can dive inside and you can add a file node. So here you can import a 3D model by clicking on this little icon. So in my case, I have a 3D model under my $heap and geo folder. So I can import this one, which is in FBX format. So now the model is quite big because it was made in Cinema 4D. So you can add a match size node. And here with the match size node, you can click on scale to fit. And now we have our 3D model. So I have some UVs in this 3D model because I've made the UV unwrapping in Cinema 4D, but let's remove them and let's recreate the UVs in Houdini. So let's add an attribute delete to remove the UV attribute. So here you can go to vertex attribute and you can remove the UVs. So now let's add a null to specify this is the base of our geo. So in my case, I have only two parts for this model. I have the inner part and the outer part of the product. So let's add a split node. And here with the split node, you can select one of those parts. So in my case, I will select the inner part. So in that case, on the left output, I have the inner part of the model. So I can rename it inner part. And here I can add a new null on the right output of the split. And this is the outer part of the model. So now to add UVs on our model, we have to create a seams for the UV unwrapping. So to do that, you can select the outer part here. You can go over the viewport and you can select this icon on the edge mode. And here you can select some seams. So we can double click on this one. We can also double click here and you can add some selection by pressing Shift. So now we have to create a cut also at the bottom of the bottle. So we can create a cut here. And now we can create a cut at the back of the bottle. So we can create a cut from here. So Shift and left click. And here you can go to the top of the bottle. You can press Shift and A. And we also need to add a cut inside this bottle. So we can press Shift and A to here and until this part. So Shift and A, and you can press Shift, double click and add this circle inside the bottle. So now with the mouse over the viewport, you can press Tab and here you can add a new group node. And here with this group node, you can change the name. So you can rename it something like outer seams. You can copy that and paste it here. So now after the group node, you can add the UV flatten node. And here with the UV flatten node, you can see that you can add some seams here. So we have created the seams with a group. So you can just select the group here under the seams field. So in my case, I call it outer seams. And now you can see that you have the UVs, but we want to make this one square. So you can select the gizmo icon here and you can select the rectify tool, which is this one. And here you can press Shift and middle mouse button. And you can make it square like this. Same for this one, Shift and middle mouse button. And I think we are good. So now let's add a UV layout. And you can see we have a nice result for the UV. So you can press space 5 to see the UV views. And we have this for the outer part of the bottle. So now you can go back to the 3D view by pressing space 1. And we can do the same for the inner part of the bottle. So you can select this null. And here you can select this little icon to create some seams. So you can go to edge mode. And here you can add a cut here, so you can double click on this one. You can also add a cut at the bottom of this part, so you can double click on this one and create a seams here. So you can create a first one here and press Shift and A until this one. So to create an entire cut like this. And now you can create a cut from here to here. Same for this part, so you can select a little edges here and press Shift and A to add some selections like this. Same here. And you can also add some cuts inside these parts. So you can create a cut maybe from here to here and also in the inner part of the model. So you can also add this one and the back one. So I think we are good for the seams. So with the mouse over the viewport, one more time you can add a new group node. So in that case, it will create a group based on the selections. So you can rename this one inner seams. You can copy that and paste it here to change the group name. And now you can add a new UV flattened node. And here with this second UV flattened node, you can add your group here for the seams. And in my case, it's called inner seams. And now like before, you can select the UV flattened node. You can select the gizmo icon with the rectify tool group. And here you can press shift and middle mouse button and you can make this one square. And I think we are good. So now let's add a UV layout. And we have this result, which is quite nice. So now you can select both UV layout. You can add a merge node. So now we have the entire model with the UVs, but if you go to the UV view by pressing space 5, you can see that we have some overlapping UVs. So to avoid that, you can add a new UV layout after the merge node, and you can see now everything is nice. So now you can add a null after this one to specify this is the output of the model, and you can rename it out model with UVs.
Imagine having access to over 40 hours of exclusive Houdini tutorials, and that library keeps growing every month with brand new content. On Arda Labs, you'll find in-depth Houdini tutorials covering motion design, simulations, product visualization, and more. Plus, you get access to all project files so you can follow along step by step. And right now, we're offering an extra 20% off the annual membership, on top of the 10% discount already included when compared to the monthly plan. This exclusive deal is available for the first 30 people, so don't miss out. Click the link below, your 20% discount is applied automatically. Secure your spot before it's gone.
And now let's say that we want to add a logo or a label at this front part of the model. So here you can select this null, you can select this little icon on primitive mode. And we want to add a logo, maybe something here. So you can press space 5 on the UV view. And that means we need to add the logo here on the UV space with the orange selection here. So we have to export this UV layout, and in Photoshop we can place our label correctly based on these UVs. So here to export this UV layout, you can select this null. You can right click and click on save. And here you can go to texture UV to image. And here you can change the path, so you can put on $IP, and you can change the name of this file. So in my case, I will call it just UVs, and I will change the extensions, and in my case, I will use PNG formats. So you can change the resolutions. In my case, I will export this image in 4K, so you can type 4096, same for this one, and click on accept. And now you will see it will create a UVs file, which is PNG under my $IP. So I will use that in Photoshop to place my label correctly. So here in Photoshop, you can create a new file, so you can put it in 4K. So you can type 4096 and 4096. You can keep everything else by default, so you can click on create. Now you can import the UVs that you have exported from Houdini to Photoshop. So first, let's add a black color on the background. So to do that, you can click on this and you can add a solid color, and you can put that in pure black. So make sure that you have 0 here on the X color. Click OK. And now you can drag and drop the UVs that we have exported from Photoshop. And this is the UV layout that we have in Houdini. Now we want to add our label something like here. So you can add an image or anything you want, but in my case, I will just type a little text. So I will type your label. And here you can double click on this one and change the font. So in my case, I will put Poppins and I will put that to black. And I will rotate it on -180 degrees, and I will put that to something like here. So now we have our label, and we will use this black and white image as a mask. So don't forget to remove the UV layout from the export. And now you can add just a tiny bit of blur to this. So you can convert this text layer to normal layer. Right click and you can rasterize type. So here you can right click and convert that to smart objects. So here to add a blur, you can go to filter, you can go to blur, and you can add a Gaussian blur. So here you can put the radius at 2 pixels. I think it will be good in that case. So you can click on OK. So now you can export this black and white image. So file, export, export as PNG. Now you can select your folder and you can rename it something like label mask. And you can click on save. Now you can go back in Houdini, and to have a preview of the label, you can go back to the 3D view by pressing space 1. And here you can subdivide that, because for now the resolution of the model is very low. So you can subdivide that 2 times. And here you can add UV Quickshade. And here on the UV Quickshade, you can import the labels that we have created in Photoshop. So under the texture map field, you can click on that and you can import the label mask. And here we can put the background in light. And you can see I have the label correctly placed on the model. So this is just for a preview, so you can rename it viz. And now you can add a null, because this is the geometry you can use for your animation or your simulations. So now to use this mask to apply different material, you can just go back to the object. Here you can add a material network. You can rename it RS mat. Here you can dive inside and you can create a new materials, RS material builder. And this is the bottle materials. So you can dive inside and here you have a first materials. So you can put that in purples. Here you can add a second one. You can put that in white for the label. And now you can add a material blender. And you can put the first material as a base material. And you can put the second material as a layer 1 color. And you can put the output to the surface. And now you can use the texture that we have created in Photoshop as a mask for the layer 1. So let's add RS texture node. And here you can import the label mask PNG. And you can plug that to the blend color. And that's pretty much it. You can render your object like this. So you'll get a purple color for the bottle and you'll get white color for the label. Of course, you can change the color of the label if you want. And you can add a bit of metalness, reflections, and so on. So it's up to you. So for the second part of the video, I will use cop to create a label on this product. So I have my product here with UVs and stuff like that. So let's add a cop network. So here you can rename it something like label. So here you can copy this null, maybe before the subdivide node. So let's copy this one. Let's dive in the cop network. So here you can use a sub import node to import a sub geometry into this cop network. So here you can click on use external sub and you can paste the nulls that we have copied before. So now we have our geometry in the cop network. So now you can add the node called preview materials. And here you can plug your geometry on the first input. And then we can add a label here on the base color just to have a preview of the result. And later we can use this as a mask for Redshift. So here you can import a file or an image by using the file node. So here I will import an image I have on my $heap. So I will use that one. So here I can convert this image from RGBA to float by using the mono node. And here I can choose the mode here to alpha. And here I can plug that to the base color. And now you can see I have a result. So now you can use a node called transform 2D to put it correctly on the bottle. So here you can put the transform 2D between the mono and the preview materials. And here on this node, you can make some change on the scale and also on the translation and rotation if you need. So maybe you can decrease the scale to something like 0.2. Also, you can go to this transform 2D and you can change the border to clip. And here you can change the position on the translation here. So you can just add a bit of offset here also on this axis. So maybe we can put the display here on light. So you can press D, you can go to background and put that in light. And we have to put the label at the front of the bottle, which is here. So we need to add a bit of offset on this axis. So at the moment, the logo seems a bit stretched. So we can add a bit of scale on this axis to 0.3. And it feels a bit better. So now we can change the translation just a bit like this. And also on this axis. So here, instead of using an external file like I did here with the file node, you can use a font. And here you can type your text. So you can replace this one with maybe your label. And you can plug that to the base color. So now you can see we have the text here. And same like before, we can use a transform 2D node. And you can place it correctly. So we can add a bit of offset on this axis to something like this also here. And if you want, you can add a blur node. And here you can blur that just a bit. So you can add a tiny value here, something like this. Also, you can add the blur for this one. Maybe it's a bit too much, but you can put the value at 0.001. And now you can use that as a mask on Redshift. So to do that, you can add a null. And here you can plug the output of your label. So you can use a font or you can use the external file. So let's plug that to the null and let's rename it something like out label cop. So you can copy that and you can go back to the geo. And here we can use this texture with Redshift. So let's add the material sub node. And here we can go to the object level. We can go to the material network. And here we can create a new material with RS material builder. We can rename it something like texture cops. So now let's assign this material to the geometry with the material sub node. So now let's see the result in Redshift. So at the moment I have this, so now we can dive in the material network and we can use the texture as a mask. So here, if you want, you can use the texture as a base color for this material, but if you want, you can also use this texture as a mask to blend between two materials. So let's put this material in dark. And here, let's add a new material. So let's copy and paste this one with Alt and left click. And let's use the material blender. So here we can put the first material on the first input of the material blender, which is base color. And here we can put the second material here on the layer 1 color. And you can plug the output here to the surface of the materials. And now we can use an RS texture node. And here we can paste the nulls that we have copied from the cop. So you can paste that. And here you can use op. And in that case, it will look under my Houdini file for this pass. So now you can plug that to the layer 1 blend color. And here we can change the color of this material and you can put that in white. So let's see the results. And now you can see that we have the label correctly placed as we have used the texture as a mask. So if you want, you can change the color of the material here. So you can put that in red if you want. You can also change the roughness, the metalness and so on for this label. So you can put that to metalness at 1. So now you can see the label have a metallic material applied on it. And if you want, you can go to the object, you can go to this one and you can go to the cop and you can change the position of this label at any time. So let's move the value a bit here on this axis to something like this. Now let's update the render. And you can see we have changed the position of the label. So it's procedural and you can make change very easily by changing the position, the rotation, the scale and so on of your label here. You can also adjust the blur for the displacement and so on. And here you can also have lots of control with the material here by using a mask as a material blender. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and check artivoxer.com to get premium 3D resources. You can access to this project file with our Artifiles membership. See you in the next one. Bye.